Imagine you've been falsely accused. Your friends have turned their backs on you. Your reputation is on the line, and you're standing alone. In the courtroom, every voice is against you. But suddenly, the judge himself rises from his seat, walks down to stand beside you, looks the accuser in the eye, and says, "This one is mine. No one can touch them. Today, I'm going to reveal a truth that can change your life forever." Because when God says, "I will defend you no matter what," it means you cannot lose. If you're watching this, it means heaven has a message with your name on it. When God declares, "I will defend you," He is issuing a covenantal statement, not a temporary arrangement. This is not the defense of a human bodyguard who can only stand so close, or a lawyer who can only argue within the limits of the law. This is the Creator of heaven and earth pledging His own power, His own authority, and His own name as your covering. His defense is not a backup plan. It is a predetermined strategy that began before you were born. God does not start defending you the moment trouble comes. He has been defending you since before you could speak your first word. Long before you faced betrayal, He was weaving your path away from those who would have destroyed you too soon. Long before financial crises touched the earth, He had set aside opportunities, connections, and resources to sustain you. The reality is that most of God's defense happens unseen, and because we do not see it, we sometimes doubt it. But understand this: the absence of visible activity is not the absence of divine defense. God's protection is like the roots of a tree. You don't see them, but they are holding you in place during the storms. They are absorbing what you need for growth, and they are quietly ensuring that when winds blow, you will not be uprooted. This is why the psalmist could say with such confidence, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer, my shield, in whom I take refuge." Notice the variety of metaphors: rock, fortress, deliverer, shield. Each paints a different picture of God's defense. A rock, solid, immovable, unshaken by time. A fortress, fortified walls keeping invaders out. A deliverer, someone who actively comes into enemy territory to rescue you. A shield, close-range protection against incoming attacks. Now, here is the tension. God's defense rarely feels like defense in the middle of the battle. If we measure His defense only by comfort, we will misinterpret His actions. Joseph's early life seemed like a series of disasters: betrayal by family, slavery, false accusations, imprisonment. It would have been easy to conclude that God was absent. But the truth is that every one of those losses was part of a larger plan to position him in Pharaoh's palace, where his wisdom would not only save Egypt, but also preserve the very brothers who betrayed him. The same is true for you. There are business deals that fell through, and you called them failures. In reality, they were diversions away from partnerships that would have drained your finances and ruined your reputation. There are relationships that ended suddenly, and you called them heartbreaks. In reality, they were divine interventions, steering you away from lifelong bondage to people who did not carry your best interests in their hearts. Sometimes God's defense is allowing you to be moved from a position you thought was secure. It might be a job termination, a relocation, or a financial downturn. At first glance, these moments look like vulnerability, not protection. But think of David. Before he became king, he was hunted by Saul. The caves and wilderness were not glamorous, but they were safer than the palace in those moments. God's defense sometimes hides you where no one would think to look, so that your destiny is preserved until the appointed time. This is why alignment with God's will is not optional. Psalm 91 says, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." The shadow is not everywhere. It is where He is. If you wander outside His will, you may step out from under that shadow, exposing yourself to unnecessary battles. God's defense works best when you stay in the place He's assigned you. Alignment means making decisions according to His wisdom, not the pressure of the moment. It means resisting partnerships that promise quick wealth but compromise your integrity. It means stewarding your money according to principles that honor Him: generosity, diligence, avoiding debt traps. Many want God to defend their finances while making choices that violate His financial laws. Many want Him to defend their peace while filling their schedules with chaos. But when you align with His principles, you begin to experience an invisible shield. You'll notice deals falling through that later turn out to be scams. You'll notice friends drifting away who later show their true colors to others. You'll notice promotions bypassing you, only to find that the position was eliminated months later. This is what divine defense looks like in real time: protection from attacks you never even knew were coming. Still, divine defense is not always gentle. God will sometimes remove what you believe you cannot live without. To Abraham, it was the call to leave his father's house, his relatives, and his country. To Gideon, it was the instruction to send home most of his army before battle. To the rich young ruler, it was the command to sell everything and follow him. These instructions stripped away comfort, security, and numbers, but they were strategies for victory. If God is defending you from something you can't see, He may have to remove something you can see. This feels like loss until you understand the bigger picture. Holding on to what He is trying to remove is like clinging to a sinking ship when a lifeboat is right beside you. Think about how many biblical victories came only after a stripping away. Gideon's army of 32,000 was reduced to 300 before facing the Midianites. From a human perspective, that's a tactical disaster. But God was defending Israel's future credibility. He wanted them to know the victory came from Him, not numbers. Sometimes He will cut your resources down to the point where everyone knows the win could not have been achieved by human strength. That way, no one can rob Him of the glory, and no one can question that you were under His protection. And God's defense is not just about keeping you alive. It's about setting you up for undeniable vindication. Job's story is a testament to this. After losing everything, wealth, family, health, God restored double. His defense did not simply replace what was lost. it multiplied it. This is a pattern. Divine defense doesn't return you to where you were. It propels you to a better place than where you started. Public vindication is part of his defense strategy. He will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. That means those who doubted you will have to watch you flourish. Those who spoke against you will see you promoted. Those who counted you out will have to acknowledge that you are standing stronger than ever. But this defense is not just for you to enjoy privately. Once God has defended you, He expects you to become a defender for others. David went from being defended from lions and bears to defending Israel against Goliath. Esther went from being protected in the palace to protecting her entire nation. When God pulls you out, it's so you can pull others out. Your financial stability can become a shield for your family. Your wisdom can become a fortress for your community. Your influence can become a platform for justice. The defense God gives you is a seed, and seeds are meant to be planted, multiplied, and shared. So, when God defends you, understand that He is building more than a moment of relief. He is constructing a legacy of protection that will outlive you. This is why the battles you face now are so critical. They are not just about your comfort, they are about the people you will one day protect. And this is where urgency comes in. Every day you spend outside His covering is a day you expose yourself and those connected to you to unnecessary harm. Every compromise chips away at the shield He has placed over you. That's why the time to align is now. Delay invites risk. Obedience invites defense. Stand firm. Do not mistake His silence for absence. Do not interpret His delays as neglect. Trust that the God who has never lost a case will not start with yours. The trial may be long, the opposition loud, and the evidence against you overwhelming, but the judge is also your defender, and He has already decided the verdict in your favor. When the day of vindication comes, you will look back at every closed door, every loss, every betrayal, and realize they were all strategic moves in a defense plan that could only have been designed by the one who knows the end from the beginning. And you will not just walk away protected, you will walk away promoted, provided for, and positioned to defend others.